kind invitation to join the Tamil Weekly session on Publish or Perish. I'm going to deal very quickly here about the ethics of peer review process. So I'm just going to give you a small overview of peer review and going to discuss what are the ethics that you have to actually follow. I don't have any financial interest right now. I have a very short experience of being on the reviewing board of about 5 journals. So I'm just going to share some of my experience. Why do you publish? Basically, you publish to claim priority of discovery, and you share what you have learned and what you want other people to learn and disseminate knowledge. And basically, you want to do this through a peer-reviewed journal of the highest possible stature, which is the impact factor. A peer review of the scientific manuscript is cornerstone of modern science and medicine, and the peer-reviewed journals rely on expert and objective review by the knowledgeable researchers. These are the researchers who are called as reviewers, to ensure the quality of the papers that they publish are standardized and they actually go on to improve. So basically, when you want to learn about peer reviewing and its ethics, you have to know what is the basic process that is going on. You have a journal staff at every journal, like in IJO. So basically, this journal staff oversees the receipt of the manuscripts from the authors online. Then they manage communication with the authors and then with the reviewers at the same time. And they process the accepted manuscript once they have been accepted for publication and proofreading and henceforth. The member of the editorial board are one of the first ones to have a primary look at the manuscript and the abstract. Then they select the reviewers according to their own expertise. Once they have selected the reviewers, they monitor the quality of the reviews that they are getting and recommend actions to the editors. Then is the role of the reviewer who actually get the manuscripts in their hands, and they are the one who sit with these manuscripts, analyze it, dissect it, and give correct recommendations to the chief editor or the editorial board for whether to publish this study or not. So basically, in a very small video, I'm just going to show you what exactly is going on in the peer review process. So peer review, as we all understand, is a very sequential and stepwise approach. That is, it is a stepwise approach in which first whosoever is the author, they basically what they do is they have their own manuscripts ready. The manuscripts, they build it to the best possible level. Then they send it across to the editorial board. The staff and the editor has a look, and if they see that this is beyond the scope of the journal, they basically exclude it and basically decline the submission. And if it is in the scope of the journal's standardizations and its policies, so basically the editor and the editorial board, they choose 2 or 3 different reviewers, which are the experts in that area. So these reviewers actually objectively see at this different manuscripts in blinded manner, and they come out with their recommendations about either to decline the submission or to reject the paper, or they can also direct the editorial board towards the major revisions, so that hence from that on you can actually take it further and actually publish your paper with that. So from the editor's point of view, the ideal reviewer is the one who is a researcher who is working in the same discipline as the subject of the paper, yet is not direct competition with the author per se, and who understands the hypothesis, the modeling, the assessment in terms of the statistics and the outcome measures, and can actually give a very good guideline. The reviewer's identity is actually kept blind, so whenever you submit a paper, you will never come to know who is the reviewer, and it is one of the most important ethical principles of peer reviewing process. So usually in peer reviewing, there are many ethical issues which you come across, and that starts even before you start to review. That starts actually when you decide whether to review the paper or not, and then throughout the reviewing process and even after you have submitted the review. So basically, when an article comes to the editor, he sends across an invitation to the reviewer. So it is up to the reviewer whether to accept this invitation or not to review. And to see this in ethical way, what he has to see is if this paper or the abstract which has come to him, does it come under his expertise? If it doesn't come under his expertise, he should let the editor know about it. If this work is too close to his own, for example, if he himself is working on the similar principles and about to publish his own study at the same time, he should actually decline to review this paper because it will cause conflict of interest and actually may cause also plagiarism. Do they have real or apparent conflicts of other interest, such as if the authors or the institutions are related to you, whether you have collaborated with them before, whether they are in relationships with you personally or academically, and most importantly nowadays is if you have any financial conflict of interest in one of the products which are being discussed and which are being analyzed there. And I think for very busy people, it is very important also to know whether you have time to review, because you also have a very small bracket of 2 weeks to 4 weeks to review article. If you don't have time, then actually you should actually decline to review. So basically, first, if you don't have all these conflicts and if you agree to review, then you are under contract with the journal and you have to give your best possible recommendations to the editor person. So reviewers should consider appropriateness of the paper for that specific journal. For example, if there is IJO, you can actually publish right from glaucoma to neuroophthalmology. Any kind of manuscripts can go into that. But if it is JRS or Journal of Refractive Surgery, then you have to actually make sure that it is only refractive surgery or the cataract refractive surgery articles that you are submitting there. So there are other ethical issues which you have to consider, and one of them is actually you have to see if it is a prospective study of some novel technique, if the IRB approval was sought for into that or not. Many of the times, although it is sought, it is not written into the manuscript, so you have to also look into that. So once you tell those people that I am ready to review, first you have got only the abstract, just to let them know that I am going to review your article. Once you agree, then you get the full text. So basically you have some ethical responsibilities over the full text as well, and this is a confidential document. It contains unpublished data and ideas, so you have to make sure that you don't discuss it with anybody and you don't steal their ideas. You have to remember that you cannot use this information for your own knowledge and your own papers later on. You have to focus on science. So basically you have to see appropriateness of this technique, strengths, weaknesses of the experimental design, and the quality of the data and analysis for that journal per se. And you also must consider that whether this paper meets the standards of the journal. For example, the similar paper can also go into ophthalmology, which is very, very high impact, and it can also go into Sudan Journal of Ophthalmology, which is almost non-peer reviewed. So basically, according to journal standards and its impact factor, its acceptance is going to get varied. The reviewers comment on variety of issues that I'm not going into that, and that starts right from the title unto the references. He is supposed to check on everything, and the reviewers also may be asked to comment on other editorial assistance. Some editorial comments can also be appropriate to be done to the editor whenever you are going to write your review. So during the review, a reviewer may discover ethical issues which must be considered and addressed at the same time. And some of them we have already discussed is plagiarism, duplication, that if you come to know that this also exists in this article, you have to let the editor know about it. And then the editor has to decide how he is going to deal with this in the best possible way. So basically, I'm just going to summarize. So, should there be evidence of scientific misconduct, inappropriate action, that must be taken to the editor following established guidelines and procedure, it will be dealt with. You should never contact the author for more information. You should contact him only through the editorial office. And you should, if you want to seek more help from any expert, for example in statistics, you can do that, but you have to inform the editor about it. You are the agent of the journal and not a friend of the author to publish the reports. And it is very important that a seriously flawed paper must never go through, and it should be challenged at every levels. So you have to write a review very precisely at every level. You have to actually jot down right from the title unto the references what all things that you believe should be improving in this paper. And if you think that this paper is not good enough at all, then you can directly reject it and you can tell about it to the editor as well. After the review, this is something that many people don't know. After the review, you are supposed to destroy the full manuscript which has come to you, because this is a confidential document. Alright. So basically, to conclude, the review of the manuscript for peer-reviewed journals raise many ethical issues and problems. Reviewers should be aware of this when deciding whether to review a paper throughout the review process and even after that. And when in doubt about ethical issues, reviewer should discuss his concerns with the editor and should always work to provide reviews that meet the highest standards of ethics as well as high standards of science to the best possible way. So, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.